Why is it so important to ensure when you're trying to close out old cycles that you are not holding on to any desire for vengeance? Now, this could be something as simple as I hope that person gets their karma one day for all that they've done to me. They will realize one day. When we hold on to certain feelings, certain, let's say consequences to people's actions, we are really tying ourselves to a cycle that we really want to free ourselves from. So in this video, I want to talk about this a little bit further, making sure that we are not holding ourselves back on our awakening journey, on our spiritual journey. Now, one of the key things you want to understand about your human life experience is that all experiences that, gravitate towards you are processed through your consciousness. And based on the frequency that you are operating on is how you are going to be able to really process these experiences. As long as you are operating from your three lower chakras, being your root, being your sacral, being your solar plexus, you are still in those repeating patterns and cycles where you are literally operating from, your survival instincts, your pursuit for emotions, your pursuit for safety, your pursuit for, power. All of that keeps you in those survival instincts, that survival mode. And so, really, what we're doing on a spiritual journey is trying to raise our consciousness beyond those three lower chakras so that we can move into better cycles, move into better patterns. And so you have to understand that when you have an experience with somebody and you are very emotional or passionate about that experience in a negative way, right? So let's say somebody hurts you really bad and you are really stuck on the fact that you can't believe they did that to you, how much pain they cause you. What you are doing is you are not integrating the lesson that that particular experience was meant to teach you, because those experiences and how you overcome those experiences is what determines, the fact that you can actually close out those cycles. And so if you do not, meet that experience with awareness, you are going to be caught up in what we call a karmic loop, where ultimately, you wishing bad upon that other person, hoping that, what they've done to you is repeated back to them. You are reopening that wound that was meant to be integrated. And so what you're asking for is for that karmic cycle to repeat with that person or in some other form, because the lesson that you were meant to learn has not yet been integrated. Now, another thing you don't want to do when you have some emotional pain, old trauma associated with, people and events from the past, is you also do not want to suppress it. Now, vengeance is, of course, wanting to really go back to that, hoping you could say something to somebody, hoping that, they kind of have that same experience that you went through. That is not integrating the lesson. But the worst thing that you can really do in any sort of a situation where you felt that emotional pain is suppress the emotions associated with what you experienced. Now, in either of these situations, what we are doing is we are not actually meeting that experience with awareness. Those emotions weren't meant to be suppressed. They were meant to be felt so that you could be a better and stronger person, so that you could learn from that experience, whatever it is trying to teach you. So one of the key things you really want to focus on and really work towards when you find yourself in a situation that is really hurting you on a level that you were hoping it wouldn't, is really to take a look at what that particular experience might be teaching you. What is it that you can really walk away from? This might be an ex-spouse, this might be siblings, this might be other family members, it might even be a stranger on the road. You want to really take a look at what that experience was trying to teach you and how you could be a better person coming out of it. when you are able to really take away something positive, understand, the pain that it brought you, why it brought it to you, what you're really feeling, is when you're able to truly close out that experience and integrate that lesson that was meant to be learned. And making sure that, avoiding it, rejecting it, suppressing it is not something that you are doing, because otherwise you can never really move on from that emotional experience. And that will create that negative experience for you in various different forms in your future. So we want to really close out the past, bring ourselves back into the present moment, and ensure that this does not show up for us again and again. Just remember that vengeance and other negative emotions associated with whatever it is that you are experiencing will keep you bogged down in those lower frequencies, in those lower chakras, and especially on your awakening journey, on your spiritual journey, regardless of, what you're trying to achieve here, you will not be able to elevate yourself from those negative experiences until you truly learn the lesson and close out the cycle. So, if you really want to take a look at your experience, for example, and you're not sure, how did I really move on from that experience that I had? I'm not sure. Take a look at how you are responding, how you are reacting to that event, to that person, to whatever that situation that, you might have experienced. As long as you have nothing negative to say about that situation, that person, that will be a key insight for you to really understand that you are headed in the right direction and you are ready to close out that cycle and integrate the lesson that you were meant to learn. And this is truly when, you know that you are on the right path. You understand what you've really just gone through. And as more experiences, because, life is not without any such experiences, you will experience this in different ways all throughout your life. But the fact that when you have that sort of awareness and you can do it once, you'll be able to see that repeating pattern. And really, that's what we're here, is to break free from those patterns. You'll be able to see that you no longer react in the same way, no longer have those negative emotional reactions. You're not feeling sorry for yourself. And you are truly just able to make peace with what really happened, understanding that each person that you're coming across, as much as we'd like to place blame outside of ourselves, they are just doing the best that they can from the state of awareness, their state of consciousness that they're truly really operating from at that time. If they knew better, they would have done better. If they had an elevated, consciousness, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing right now. So understanding that really shifts your perspective in dealing with other people, and really applying that, letting go of those emotions, those negative experiences with much more ease. And that is going to be a huge shift and a turning point for your awakening and spiritual journey. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope this was helpful. God bless.